You want to, so one of the things that you want to do when you're working with students is be prepared for them to do it in smaller steps. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of thing that, there's all sorts of ways you could do this. You could whiteboard this kind of data because it's simple data. Mm-hmm. You could have them, this you might not even have to have them, they could all draw the arrows, hold it up, share it with each other. There's lots of ways that you can get this shared among the class and kids up and moving and thinking and talking. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be hard to stop them from moving to the interpretation because it's pretty, this one was really clear, right? It makes a difference. Okay? Let's look at the next one. This one is yours, Sarah. You get to wear this. All right, so poor Maria went first. Now you've got to learn sometimes. Slow it down.
Okay. So for this one, there were 4 scientists. And if I direct your attention to, if you guys want to underline it too, it says if higher temperatures lead to early flowering dates for plants. So the information we're looking at is a graph between normal and heated flowering plants. The difference in the temperature was 3 degrees Celsius because they were trying to see, that's the prediction for Michigan's temperatures in the year 2100. So they were seeing, I'm guessing, what global warming would do to the plants in that area. And so first things I want you guys to just to identify what you see in this graph so far between the normal and the heated. Give you a couple minutes. It looks like everyone's pretty ready. I'd like each one of you just to share one thing you noticed from the graphs. So you can go ahead and go first.
For normal,
Mm-hmm.
for normal sample it takes up to 16 days.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. What did you notice?
The heated sample was 6 days for the first flower.
Yes, and those are 2 things I noticed. And then I also just noticed the difference between the 2. So between normal and heated, there was a 10-day difference between the flowers. And so now I want you guys, with the information that you have, go ahead and interpret what you think the data is telling you. So take a minute. Hey guys, someone want to share out what they thought of, what their interpretation of the data was?
Go ahead. Heat lowers flowering time?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or just noticing that the heated flowers bloomed at a faster time period than the normal flowers did. And that was their hypothesis as well. If higher temperatures lead to flowering dates for plants. And yeah, that's all I got. Cool.
You made that look so easy.
I've been in a classroom since August, so.
She's actually been teaching more than you guys have.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, and about comfort and experience. You get to teach.
After, if it goes over my hair, I might just have to hold.
Oh, yeah. They made it short. I think they made it. I thought it was really short. Fine. Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Okay.
A little bit of data, where they came from.
You can show the picture. I didn't show it to you, but you'll like it. I help you show them. That's the tray she set up. Oh, why is that showing up on here? All right, let's say I don't want to mess with
Okay.
the tray.
All right. So Nora, a student at Michigan State University, wanted to study the behavior of wood lice. So we kind of want to underline that, the experiment. She's studying the behavior of wood lice. Okay? So she collected 50 wood lice from her own compost pile at home and brought them into her lab. And then she set up a white tray with two sides. On one side of the white tray, she placed dark soil. On the other side of the white tray, she placed lighter colored leaves. Okay? So what she then did was take individual wood lice, place them in the center of the white tray, so they're not facing either the leaves or the dirt, but they're facing just the white side of the tray, and then let them roam where they wanted to roam to. So they were picking what side they wanted to go to, either the dark soil or the lighter leaves. So I just want you to now identify what you see in this graph. Hey Maria, can you tell me one thing that you noticed in this graph?
I noticed that there are more wood lice on light leaves.
How many?
About 10 more.
What's the total number on the light leaves?
27.
Okay, 27 on light leaves. Sarah, what did you notice?
I noticed that there were 23 wood lice on the dark soil.
In the dark soil. Okay. So Nora's hypothesis.
So maybe 4.
28 and 22.
Yeah. So maybe 5.
Okay.
What am I getting at? What are you missing here? Is it significantly different?
Ah.
And what you're missing here, which would be really important when the data is running that close, will be some error bars. Something to tell you what's the deviation, what's the error, what's the confidence interval. This data, now in middle school you don't introduce that, but it's still getting kids to thinking about how close is this. And why do you think she had the hypothesis that they prefer the dark?
I would say because compost piles are dark habitats.
And that's where they live.
They
live in the dark.
It may explain. You may want to explain what wood lice are, because I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, they're these little tiny, I didn't give her that background either, but these little tiny critters that live in the dark.
Okay.
Okay, so they tend to go into compost piles and live there.
Okay.
Oh, that would be helpful, yeah. Now, in the Real Data Nugget program, when you go into to see these, they do a very good job of asking the kids to come up with a claim, and they also have different levels. So they'll have like level 2 is middle school, level 3 is early high school, level 4 is late high school. So you want somewhere between 2 and 3, and you want 3, maybe 4, depending on you have some high honors kids. And that's another way to differentiate for you. Marla's an interesting story because she's teaching in the same classroom, regulars and honors. So they could select out. Data Nuggets does a really nice job of taking the same data and sorting it through for different levels of kids within that same data set. So
how would I structure that assignment? Does every student get all the data?
So in your world, I don't know, do the kids declare themselves already as on? Be a good way to do it instead of me giving you my answer.
Because we're living in a world of differentiated instruction, right?
Right.
So
You got prepared a level 3 and a level 4 of the same data, right, for your kids.
So I'm teetering between giving, I don't know how to do that. So if I give everyone the level 3, and then who kind of is working through it more easier, getting it?
Okay, so just because you haven't played with it, it's the same set of data. It's not different. So once they've gone through the level 3, you wouldn't really want to. So help her out. What might you do?
I sometimes with my kids where like they ask the kids who are more advanced to go deeper thinking into it. So like we didn't get into any of the analysis part of it, and you could maybe have them do like an analysis part of it because they probably already know how to identify and like interpret, and then they're just like, oh, well. But then like if you're like, oh, throwing some reasoning there, and then that might challenge them.
Well, I'm going to disagree.
Oh, okay.
Only because they all need, we saw today that we don't even do this so well, and we're adults. So they all need the practice. What they do, and you're not understanding because you haven't seen the data nuggets, and this thing, of course, is frozen and not working out of there. But what happens is it opens up the assignment, and it's going to have embedded into the level 4 more things to do with this same data, less things at the level 3, even less. At level 2, they give them the graph. In the high school level, they never give them the graph. They give them the data they have to. But at level 3, it's an easier graph and different interpretation. Sometimes at level 4, they'll ask them to add error bars depending on the assignment.
Interesting.
So that's, you didn't know that. So now knowing that what you were doing is trying to help her build the assignment, I'm telling you, it's already built. It's built for those levels for you.
So are we just assigning students who we know are higher functioning to level 4?
So that's my question. I think that's the question I'm trying to get us to talk about. Do we decide or do we let them decide?
I see.
I would let them decide too.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting to see, sometimes you'll have a genius who's going to go for that level 3. And let them decide. Now when that kid does that, you could ask them later, do you expect to earn honors credit? And I guarantee you they do.
Right.
And then you might say, well, when you take that assessment that's going to decide if you're an honors student, you might regret deciding to always go for the level 3 option. Because the more you practice with level 4,
Like
and it's to give youth an idea of where they're at, who's the ones that are challenging. You might also see kids going for level 4 and they're not doing it. It's too much. And then you have to, keep going down that hall to the men's though, the women's, the light isn't working. Does that make sense? So then you might have to sort of in a nice way guide them and say, you know what, I'm really excited that you're trying level 4, but right now, today, it might not be accessible to you. Let's get you there. So let's start here right now and work with these, if they're really struggling.
So like guide them like based on kind of persuasion almost.
So the secret to this whole inquiry and open kind of classroom where kids are more in control is that you're really the one who's completely in control. You give them voice and choice, but you have to always be there to guide them. And you have to do it in ways that are, proactive, that don't put them down and don't prejudge. It's really, I wouldn't do that with a student until they really struggled more than once. You know what I mean? If they kept going to level 4 and not being able to do it, I wouldn't do it on the first day, even if I didn't think they belonged there, because sometimes work's so wrong. And then say, wow. And then, build them up. Here's something funny. I didn't know you. I thought you weren't going to be able to handle that, and you were amazing. You really impressed me today. So it gives you, the chance to really build them. But you have to be watching. So this whole, you're not the one running the lesson, but you have to watch. So I hope that gives you some helpful stuff. I don't know if that's what you do in methods classes. I think personally, as reflective, because this was the first day I taught this lesson, I wouldn't go with such a hard one again in the beginning. That's my reflection on what I did wrong today. I think that was too challenging. I just was so intrigued with the P53 data, and it hit my personal likes. It was watched how you struggle more, and there was so much data there. When I got you to the easy one, it was almost too easy.
Yeah.
So if I did this lesson, that is what I would do. But that's the takeaway of the first time you do anything. That's the fun of it. Is not what would I do. The other advice I'll give you from when I don't do something, and but don't wait till next year. Make busy in your grading. Make the change that day already, and you will be. The more it again, so I'll keep that part in there so they see that. I think it was too much at the beginning, but otherwise, hopefully, the strategy you like. The last slide is, and again, I'm going to share this with you. Gives you these are all links, okay? And I'll share the worksheet also with you, which have the links in here as well, if you want. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on a Sunday. That was rough, so I hope it was worth it. I'm done.